Young Jables used to simp over his favourite red pill YouTubers, and in all honesty, it actually helped him to attract women. He was having a lot more success in dating and hooking up, but now a new problem would arise. He'd follow their advice to the letter, but for some reason, the women who showed him the most love would cut him off and ghost him. This made him quite bitter, insecure, and he became quite hateful of women. Things would only get worse for Jables, as his negative outlook on life would push people away, and his fear of loneliness would kick in. He began to question the red pill and everything it had taught him. He came to a realization that would change his life forever. Stick around, cause I need that watch time.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
I used to watch red pill content all the time, and I think in a lot of ways, it has scarred me. It made me increasingly paranoid about women, and the more I'd consume this kind of content, the less peace I would have within myself. I'd feel so much pressure to not be me, in case women would lose attraction. I'd be afraid of showing any kind of interest, because you can't give her attention or validation. This would start to eat away at me, and I'd feel increasingly powerless. I couldn't be genuine around women. I tried to give off this cold, high value, alpha male, false persona. I'd act like I didn't give a shit about the women I'd be dating. Don't get me wrong, this behaviour will keep a lot of women interested in you, but the type of women that you'll attract will be broken women. Women who have daddy issues, who weren't loved properly as a child, and didn't have a strong father figure growing up. The kind of love we are given by our parents shapes the way we give and want to receive love as an adult. It goes very deep psychologically, and it doesn't matter what you do. You can never truly have a healthy relationship with this woman, not unless she is fully healed from the trauma. Maximus doesn't take pills to solve his problems. He's so masculine that negativity is vanquished in his very presence. He loved women, and he was fascinated by their femininity. He adored his mother and his sisters, as his father had taught him to do so. There was mutual love and respect between the men and the women in his tribe. He did not live in a time where feminism was allowed to run rampant. Fathers were very protective of their daughters, and would teach them heavily about self-respect. If another man wanted to date his daughter, he had to best him in combat and prove himself worthy. Women would not sleep with men until marriage to ensure their commitment. This allowed them to get to know each other first, so they could spot red flags without being blinded by lust. This tradition would last for many years, but as men became weaker, they began to ignore these boundaries, and over time, healthy relationships would become a thing of the past. A relationship is built on an emotional connection. You'll get a lot of men saying that showing any kind of emotion or vulnerability around a woman will destroy her respect and attraction for you. This is complete bullshit. Now perhaps with broken women, any sign of this and she'll probably run a mile, but most men go about this in completely the wrong way. They spew out all of their deepest traumas, insecurities and fears, things that they haven't dealt with, and they begin to look at her as more of a mother figure who's going to make everything better. But this takes you completely out of a masculine frame of mind, and it puts a ton of pressure on her that she's not meant to handle. It becomes a burden on her, and she starts to feel more like your mother. This puts her in an uncomfortable position, and it will naturally push her away. Vulnerability is not the problem here. The real problem is not being at peace with yourself. A woman needs a man who is strong. You need to be an emotional rock, and if you can't demonstrate that, it will affect your ability to lead, to provide, to protect. If you have ultimate peace and security in yourself, you can be vulnerable with her. You're not going to see her as an emotional crutch, as your mother. No, you will see her as your partner. You can show emotion and be vulnerable, but you must not allow your emotions to control your actions. Vulnerability is something that I struggled with for a long time, and it was only recently that I was able to overcome it. And the way I did that was by changing the way that I viewed myself. I spent the best part of almost 2 years working on myself and improving my life, working on my confidence and improving my sense of self-worth. I realised that I have nothing to fear. If a woman loses attraction for me because I'm genuine and I open up to her, that's a reflection of her poor character, not mine. And if that's the case, she is doing me a favour by not wanting to be in my life. And this stopped my fear of being vulnerable. I stopped caring what others might think and just focused on being at peace in myself. This heavily improved my relationship, as the ability to communicate what I'm feeling brought us closer together. And to my surprise, I saw her feminine side blossom and her respect for me increased. Have you ever opened up in a relationship? How did it work out for you? Let me know by leaving a comment and a like while you're at it. Now make no mistake, you should still be a man who is focused on his goals, focused on improving his life, building his value. But when it comes to maintaining a healthy, loving relationship, you have to make quality time for her. And when you do spend time with her, you must be present. You must be able to switch off from work, from your goals, from your business. You need to make her feel loved, valued and desired. A couple of days a week spending quality time with her, it will do wonders for your relationship. The mistake a lot of men make is being so attached to their goals that they become distant. If a woman doesn't feel loved by her man, she will eventually check out emotionally and seek that love somewhere else. But then these same men will complain that women are cheats and just use you for what they can get. Look, if your needs weren't being met and you were competing for your partner's love, would you honestly want to stick around? I think not. You don't need to listen to dickheads online, who by the way are mostly single, that tell you that women only want self-centered men who treat them like shit. The women that they date are not good quality women. They lack strong traditional values. They have zero depth of character and think that their body and their appearance are the only things that matter to men. What you need to have is standards. Don't date women just because they're attractive or they make your pee-pee hard. Date purposefully. Do her values align with yours? Does she have a healthy relationship with her parents? Does she have a lot of red flags? These are all important things to consider when dating. Hypergamy isn't the be-all and end-all of attraction. What makes a man attractive is his masculinity, his confidence, the very energy that he gives off, how he carries himself and responds to difficulties in his life, his willingness to push forward despite his circumstances, the way he motivates, inspires and lifts other people up. This is what a true leader is. And if you can master these traits, hypergamy won't mean shit. I mentioned earlier that spotting a woman's red flags can be crucial for a successful relationship. If you'd like to know more about this, click the video on screen right now.